All right, good morning. Today is Tuesday, the 6th of December. And as it says in here, I'm going to go over some additional SQL query examples today. Tomorrow, we will finish up the database project, and it will include you doing a little bit of work on your own here. I'm going to give you some hints. Tomorrow, I will also email you in the email you get in the morning. I will email you the Part 2 database requirements. The Part 1 requirements are due tomorrow by midnight. The Part 2 database requirements are due the following by midnight. All right. Now, just so you know, every time I grade one of these, some of you have been sending me, you're having problems with this or that, and I've got to go in every time and I have to change the connection string and I have to change the path to the images, etc., in order to even be able to bring it up on the screen. So again, please use the names, etc., that I've given you. All right. I don't mind doing that stuff, but I mean, if you name your fields and your table names differently than mine, it's just going to screw everything up. All right. So let's go over some more examples today. What I've done is I'm going to bring up here the worksheets, and I've got keys for these. So this is what I'm going to do. Now, this first one has 17 problems. For some reason, I can only find the key for the first 3, but that's okay. So again, you look at this we've talked about yesterday, but I want to show you this. All right, and let me go back and let me change the color on that to black. There we go. All right, so the first question says, show the query to add yourself as a new customer, much the same way as we used to add a new album into the table. All right, use your name and either a real address or a mythical. You can do it either one of these 2 ways. So let's take a look here. If I type in this, you'll notice that what I'm leaving out from there is the ID field. All right, and that's typically the way that you would do it. Okay, especially if the field is set up as an auto increment as ours is. Then, as you can see, the customer first name goes to Jeff, the last name goes to Scott, the street address to 751 Parr Road, the city to Wentzville, the state to Missouri, the zip to 63385, the area code to 314, and the phone number to 286-3675. That's typically the way you do it. It should also accept it if you come in here and you don't list these names, but that means you got to put in every field, and you just put in null for the ID. So I believe that either one of these will work. Let's try them. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just change this from Jeff Scott. Tell you what, I'll change it to Brock. Oops. Brock Parsons, who's one of our instructors. And everything is the same, except I don't know his phone number. So I'm going to put 3456. I don't know if that's right or not. Then we're going to try it again, and we're going to see if we can put in Mr. Growherring. So that's Chad Growherring. Okay. And we'll again change this last 4 digits here to 4567. And I want to see if these both work. So I have brought up here XAMPP, XAMPP, and I have brought up phpMyAdmin. So let's bring up the sales orders table. You'll see that if we look in there, this is the same one we had yesterday. If I bring in customers, it says I've got 30 customers, and we had like 27 or 28, whatever it was, but we added Evan, Charles. We removed me, but we put in Mary Doe yesterday. So I'm going to see if I can come in here and add this. So this is attempting to add Mr. Parsons right here. You'll notice that there's no errors, which is always a good sign. And when I click go, it looks as though it went just fine. But before we do that, let's do the other one quickly. where I'm going to attempt to put in Mr. Grow Herring. All right. And again, we'll click go, and they both look like they work. So let's check. So we will select star from customers. Now what I'm going to do is, so I can see them, I could go to the second page and just hit enter right now, but I'm going to say order by customer ID in descending order. So it should show the last records that I put in. It should show them first. So there's Mr. Grow Herring. There's Mr. Parsons. So that worked just fine. Either one of those ways, again, would be ways that you could do this. All right. Number 2, show 2 different queries to show all the customers in the customers table except you. Well, I'm not in there anymore. All right, so we'll say except for Mary. Well, let's just pick on somebody. We'll say except for Mr. I don't know, Mr. Grow Herring. So I'll put in this one. And he is number 33. So we'll say not equal to 33. And again, whoops, we'll say 33. And again, we'll say order by customer ID in descending order. So if this works, it should start with number 32. All right, so let's see. And you'll notice it does. All right, another way then that we could do this, and there's probably more than that, but we had this, and we said not equal to. We can also, I think we can say this, not equal to like that, and let's run that. And again, you can see 33 is left off. And there's yet one more way that we can do this. All right. We can say customer ID not in 33. I think that'll work also. And as you can see, all right, so they all worked, in other words. Okay. All right. Show the query to select each customer's first name, each customer's last name, the order number, the product number, and the quoted price. So when you look in here, we're getting information from 1, 2, 3, 4 different tables. So since we've got 4 different tables, we need 3 relationships. There's one relationship between customer and orders. There's another relationship between order and order details. And there's yet another relationship between product number and for the product table and product number for the order detail. Let's grab that and see if that works. It's always good when you do this to take a quick look and make sure that there's nothing here where you got any errors showing along the sides. But I do have one. So what does it say? I can already tell you what it is. Very simple, an error that happens a lot. If you look here, I forgot a comma. Okay. Let's try it again with that comma in there. Still doesn't like something. It says sales orders, order details does not exist. I think it's because it's called order details like that. So let's see. Still doesn't like something. Unknown column, order number. Okay, I know what that is. I made several iterations of this, and unfortunately, I sent you rather an older iteration where I didn't change a bunch of names back, but it's all right. So we don't have an order number. We don't have a product number. I believe this is going to have to be order ID. And I believe this is going to have to be product ID, which would mean this would be order ID. And this would be order ID. And then finally, let's see, this I believe is going to be product ID. And this could still be wrong, but we'll find out in a moment. And so will this. Unknown column quoted price in field list. Okay, the good news is this was okay, this was okay, this was okay, this was okay, but this was not. All right, so in order details, and as you can see, it's called order details quoted price. Then again, still possible that I'm missing something, but we'll see. All right, it says it returned an empty set, which meant that the query was okay, but there was nothing that met the criteria. Okay. All right, let me go back and add that one in here. All right, next, show a query to select all customers whose first name begins with a vowel and whose last name ends with a vowel. Sort the results by last name in an ascending order. All right, so let's write this and then we'll bring it back in there. So select star from customers where customer first name, like this is going to be an ugly query. A, so it starts with A, or or you do E-E-I-O and U. All right, so E, I, O, and U. That'll handle all, that will handle all vowels first names. In fact, let's run that one. See if I get any output. So Andrew, Angel, Elena, Estella, Evan. You'll notice they all start with a vowel. Okay, that's a good start. But I want to do that, and I want to do ones that end with a vowel. Right? So I've got all that. I'm going to put another or in here. I'm going to drop that right into here. All right, so last name. A-E-I-O-U. O U. And I think, was it the last name starts with a vowel as well? Last name ends with a vowel. So we have to flip this. So instead of this, it'll be star A, star E, star I, star O, and star U. Not star, I guess, percent sign. Get rid of these. So again, in English, what that's saying is, show me any customer whose name begins with a vowel, or whose first name begins with a vowel, or whose last name ends with a vowel. I think this is correct. Let's double check. Let's copy that in case we screwed up. All right. So notice that ends with a vowel. That ends with a vowel. Starts with a vowel and ends with a vowel. Starts with a vowel, starts with a vowel, starts with a vowel, ends with a vowel, starts with a vowel, ends with a vowel. And I think this question here, this should have been an and, so that's okay. It'll fix that. It'll take a second here. So this should be the word and it's only going to find that one guy. It was like and something Caselli or something like that. This one is correct now the way that it was. So let me go back. And for now, and I'm going to close that for now. So I've only got that one open. Good. Let's run this one more time. But instead of that being an or, make that an and. That means that the customer's first name must start with a vowel and the customer's last name must end with a vowel. So instead of getting 6 or 7, we get 1. Starts with a vowel, A for Andrew, ends with a vowel, I for Sensini. Okay. And again, the next one is what I'd already ran for you. Okay. All right. Let's just continue on then. Good review for me as well. Show the query to select all category descriptions, all product names, and all retail prices. Sort the results by category description in ascending order, then retail price in descending order. So we need the category description, the product name, and the retail price. And if I bring up that thing that we had, the one that we used yesterday, all right. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to copy this. And I don't want to keep this open, so I'm going to open up inside of Paint here and paste that in. Okay, so what it said on here that I wanted to grab: category description, product name, and retail price. Category description is in categories. Product name is in products. And retail price is also in products. So I want to join together these two tables right here. Let me write it off to the side here so I can keep these open. So what I'm going to want to do here is I'm going to want to select C dot category description. And P dot product name and P dot retail price. And I want to select that from categories C in join products P where C dot category ID equals P dot category ID. All right, now that is the right query, but the field names may be different in mine, so we're going to find that out in just a second. Unknown retail price in field list. All right, so let's see. So in products, it's product name and product price. Okay. Product name and product price, not retail price. See if that works. And it does. So there are our category descriptions with the associated product. All right. And the price. Now it looks a little ugly because they're all mixed up. So we could do and really should do right here. Keep it like this, but then I should do an order by on here. So I'll do an order by C dot category description. And then also on P dot product name. So let's run that one and see if it looks a little nicer. So there's all of our accessories, and they're in alphabetic order. I could have even done it here. So you'll notice that these by price, they're not in any kind of order. So we could even add that. All right, and I can say, for example, here, P dot product price, and we'll put that in descending order. All right, and if we run that, now you'll see that here, those are, as soon as you find something that's the same, all right, they're going to be in descending order based on price. That looks pretty nice. All right. So that and that and that. So there's that one. So next is number 7. Show a query to select all category description, product names, and retail prices, but only for a category of bikes or wheels. Sort them again in, all right, by description and then price. Okay, we can grab the query that we just did because it's going to be very similar. All right. And not only will we want to do that where there, but we'll also want to say where this and C dot category description in, and we'll put it here, bikes, wheels. I think that's going to be correct, but we're going to find out right now. Nope. Unknown column bikes in where clause. All right, then let's fix that. All right, hopefully I fixed it up. Ordered by this, and actually they wanted second, they wanted price in descending order. So unknown column bikes in where clause. I didn't like that, but I don't want that in here. Equal bikes or C dot category description equal wheels. And there you go. You'll notice that everything in here is bikes or wheels. All right, so there's that one. Then we're supposed to do one for not bikes and wheels. Okay, so where description not equal to bikes. Oops, not equal to bikes, and this is not equal to wheels. So this should grab everything except those that we just looked at. Right? And when you look here, well, there's accessories, there's car racks. So bikes have been skipped. And if we keep going, how many do we have here? Okay, there's components, and that's it. So there's no wheels. All right, so there's no bikes and there's no wheels. Okay, let's continue on. All right, show a query to show all category names, product names, retail price, wholesale price, and vendor name. Well, let's start with what we've already had. So now, whoops, put those numbers there. All right, so start with a category description, product name, and the price, but we also want the wholesale price and the vendor name. Okay, so we'll do that right now. The wholesale price is from product vendors, and the vendor name is from, so the wholesale price is from product vendors, and the vendor name is from vendors. Okay. right, I'm doing this off the top of my head, so I could very easily be screwing this up, but we'll get it anyway. So we're joining together this and we want another inner join here. So we've got categories and we've got products. And P dot product ID equals PV dot product ID. Oh, that's the where. So we want to interjoin products with product vendors, which we call PV. And one more time, we want to interjoin with vendors, V, where product vendor dot vendor ID equals vendor dot vendor ID. Chances of me doing this and not having screwed it up are not good, but we'll see anyway. Put the results by category description. Then we want vendor name, then retail price, then wholesale price. Okay, and the last one was the wholesale price, which was PV dot wholesale price in descending order as well. Let me grab all this because, like I said, the chances are pretty good there'll be some kind of a mistake in here. And we have it right. All right, so product vendors, they both have a product ID. No, they both have a vendor ID. So this should be vendor ID here. And here. ID there. Again, this is just a matter of practice, which is what this was designed to be. Right? I'm going to use the old syntax because I'm screwing something up here syntactically. So I'm going to say from category C, products P, product vendors, EV, vendors, V. And I don't want to have to do these inner joins. where this equals this, and that equals that, and that equals that. Okay. Again, I'm still going to have something wrong, I'm fairly certain. Equal sales orders products does not exist. Well, there's products, because I spelled it wrong. I didn't spell products. E. Column p.vendor ID and work clause. So how do I join together product and product vendor? It's on the product ID field, not the vendor ID. So that is product ID here. And that is product ID here. Unknown column, PV wholesale price. Because it is called product vendor wholesale price. This is the problem, like I said, when I come through here and I've been, for lack of better words, I've been doing this, but I changed names. I should never have done that. That's all on me. Well, I've got their product vendor wholesale price. Product vendor. Oh, I know where it is. And there it is. So you see what a pain in the butt this can be. But this is also one reason, just to be honest with you, this is also one reason that people who work in this field can make a lot of money, because this is known as data mining in here. And that's really what we're doing, is we're going through this and we're trying to grab some of the stuff that's in here. All right, so it looks like all right. Now, you know what? I'm going to just, if I keep doing this, all right, only for Lone Star Bike Company or bikes. All right. So we could bring in the same one we have here. All right. And we've got all this different stuff. So here's our conditions right there. Okay. And I could come in here and say, and v dot vendor name equals Lone Star Bike Supply. or the category ID. So P dot C dot category description equals bikes. Try that, see if I've got it right or if I've screwed something else up. Or I have. All right, it doesn't like, of course, what I just added, so let's go back and look at this. Vendor name equal Lone Star Bike, or this. There you go. So there's Lone Star Bikes, you can see right there. And if it's not Lone Star Bikes, then the category must be bikes. Okay, so that one is now correct. All right, then number 11 was the same thing, except this for the or, we wanted that to be an and. So replace the word or with the word and. Okay, come back up here, replace this word or with this word and, run it. And you'll see now we've added like 3, but they're all bikes and they're Lone Star Supply. All right, so again, you can see hopefully as we go through this, I mean, it takes some work. See if we can knock these out and then take a break. So show the query to select all employee first names, last names, order number, product number, and quantity ordered. All right. Okay. So select E dot. Let's look at how this was set up. So there's our employees. Emp first name, emp last name, etc. Hopefully I did it like that, but we'll see. Okay. Tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to step away for just a minute. I'll be right back. Right, sorry about that. And let's finish this up, take a quick break, and then we'll go on to the next one. Okay. All right. So up to here, I want the employee first name, last name, order number, product number, quantity ordered. All right. So the employee first name and the employee last name will, of course, come from the employee table. Right? So there'll be the employee first name, there'll be the employee last name, there will be the order number, so I can grab that from orders because these two are related. And I want the product number and those and the quantity ordered. That's from here. All right. So I would want e.emp first name, e.emp last name, o dot order ID, e dot product ID, and I think that's, oh, let's see, look one more time. So I now have the employee first name, the employee last name, the order number, the product number, and we need the quantity ordered, which is in order details. All right, so I'm sure these names are wrong, but that's okay. So that's going to be from employees, E, orders, O, products, P, order details, OD, and since I'm joining together 4 different things, I'll need 3 different join statements. So where, and again, I'm using the old-fashioned syntax, E dot employee ID equals O dot employee ID, and well, chain together orders and order details. And so I'm sure this will be O dot order ID equals OD dot order ID. Plus, we've got to go in and we've got to bring in the products table. And we can do that through the order details because they both have product number. OD dot product number equals P dot product. And it's not product number, it's product ID. Now, I'd put $1 million on the fact that after we do this, okay, that this isn't going to work because I've got something in here that's got a wrong name on it, but that's okay. This is a start. In fact, let's look before I even drop anything in here. Employees, and it's employee first name and employee last name. So we'll fix those right away. So there's, whoops, E dot employee first name and E dot employee last name. This is probably order detail quantity ordered. There we go. Let's see how close I may be now. Right? All right. Well, it's showing me it's returning an empty thing. So the query is actually formulated correctly, but there's nothing that met that criteria. Okay, so let me grab that and we will put that in here. Okay. And then they have the same kind of thing in here. So I'm not going to keep doing these. All right. But it's with orders greater than 4, etc. Let's go down to here. And let's just do the last one. We'll do a union to combine all customers and employees. All right. So the customers table and the employees table are the same. They have the same fields. Okay. What do I mean? Well, if we come back to here and I go over here and I go to customers, let's say, and I go to structure. Okay. There, those fields that are right there. So let me grab these. Boom. All right. The good news is these all have the same name. The only thing I'm going to have to change is when I drop this in here like this, okay, I'm going to have to change all these to employee. And what union does, again, is it brings together, as long as the fields are the same, it allows us to combine the data in 2 different tables, which is what I'm doing right now. All right, so let's run this and see if it works. A lot of stuff in there. Unknown column, employee first name and field list. Well, that isn't good. Oh, well, after I select all this, I've got to say where it's from. So that's from employees. And there they are. So there's our customers, followed immediately by our employees. And how do I know that? Well, there's 40 records. There were 7 or 8 customers, and then 30 or so, um, 7 or so employees and 30 or so customers. I think that's enough for that one. Now, the good news is for the next one, I do have keys. Let me save this. That's the good news. The bad news is the field names may be different, but I want to just jump right into it. All right, so let's take a look at what's in here, and hopefully we won't have too many problems. So write a query that shows whether or not any employee has a telephone number. Make sure to include. So we want to show all the ones where the phone number is null, meaning they don't have a number. That's the is null part. Let's see if we can run these without having to make changes. Okay, there weren't any. So every employee that's in there has a phone number. Now let's see if we can break that. All right, so we're going to run the same query in just a moment. But I'm going to insert into employees. All right, and we'll just put in here this, a first name, an employee first name, and an employee last name. That's it. Values, and I'll put in here Robert Jones. Probably will want that in parentheses. Okay. All right, says it inserted it. So let me go right back and run that same query and see if we get Robert Jones, because we put Robert in there without a phone number. And indeed, we get Robert Jones. Okay, so that worked. Let's jump up to the second one. Show the total number of orders and the associated employee first name and last name by employee ID. So in other words, we're trying to group this, and we're trying to see which employee is responsible for the most orders. Okay. What I'll do is I will send out the keys for each one of these. The first one will be not totally finished, but the second and third will be totally finished. Since we did a group by in here, well, didn't like it. Look in here, I shouldn't say it didn't like it. It didn't have any records that met that criteria, which typically isn't a good thing. Let's see if I remove the group by out of here and just put it in here like this, if I get any answers back. Still didn't like it. Okay, so it's saying the number of orders is 0, so something's goofed up in there. All right. Let's see if we can do this one. Show the total quantity on hand for each quantity. If these all keep going back and returning nothing, all right, that means something is hosed in here, and I'll just send you out what I've got. All right, well, that's better. So it says we have 343 total accessories, 318 components, 82 clothing, 60 wheels, 24 bikes, and 14 car racks. And again, that was from in here. We were doing a sum, okay, of the quantities for quantity on hand, and then grouping it by the category ID. Like I said, you will get a copy of all this stuff when I get done. Right? It says here we've got 40 total. So these are distinct products. All right. So notice there's no repeats. The names may be similar, but they're not the same. Okay. And they're also in well, I thought they were in alphabetic order, but they're in category description alphabetic order. So here's the other ones. Okay. Right, the same exact query, but group the results by category ID. So we added this group by in here by category description. Okay. And you'll notice that each one of these is in a different category. So they get uglier and uglier as we go along. Now notice the boss just called and she wants a query that shows the customer's first name, last name, order number, quantity ordered, product name, and quantity description. All right. So they should return 3,975 records. Um, should be order details, not order detail. And that's what's wrong, honey. And there you go. Again, I'm not sure why I'm not getting any feedback here. Should be getting back all those, and I'm not. Something is goofy. All right. What I will do then, and I'm going to do this right now, is I'm going to take a little bit of time and I'm going to go back and I've got these and I've got the next ones, but I do want to go back. So let me do a file save all here. And I'm going to close this. And I'm going to go back to the first example right here. And I went through here and I did the first, what, 10, 11, 12, but I didn't do the last 5. All right. That one should be this. I think it's the same one. Show the query for all employees. First name, last name, order number, product number. All right. I'm just going to send you what I've got. Okay. Now, tomorrow, let's talk about what we're going to do. First of all, I haven't written the requirements for part 2 yet. I'm going to write those today. But when you work on this tomorrow, all right, and you come in here just to show you what we're going to do. So right now you are able to come in here and I can run this. I can go to the main page. I can load my data. Comes up okay. I can click here and I can find an album picture and I can find the songs that are in that album. I'm going to ask that you remove this. Get them in here. I'm not going to do it now, but I'm going to ask that you remove this. You remove this. We're going to move this over and this over. We're going to add another data grid view. And I'm going to have you create your own table. I'll give you some suggestions and I'm going to have you do your own join statement. And again, I'll give you some suggestions. So that's what we'll have tomorrow. So what I'm going to do right now Probably shouldn't be doing this because there's probably some mistakes in there, but I'm going to go back to my keys. Got the keys for all these unless I screwed up something. I am going to right mouse click on keys and zip it, and I'm going to send you that in just a moment. It's a very short lecture today. Like I said, still fighting bronchitis and doing the best I can here. All right, so I will talk to you tomorrow.